What's up? It's the Third Down Conversation. I am the Turnip Seed. And on today's episode, SGA, the free throw merchant. Is that fair or foul? Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. Is it really a rivalry? And the college football playoff is changing again. But did they finally get it correct? All that and more on today's episode. Let's jump in.
So I just want to make sure that I have this accurate, because being correct is important. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a free throw merchant because he gets fouled in the playoffs while averaging nearly 30 damn points a night? Got it. Okay, let's actually check the receipts though. 125 free throw attempts in 13 games. Wild, mind-boggling, right? Unless you're, I don't know, LeBron in 2009, 188, MJ in 89, 190, D-Wade in 06, 136, Kobe 140, Larry Legend 138, Magic 134, or I don't know, AI 129. So basically, Shai is doing what legends have always done, but now it's a problem? Cool, so let's just retroactively label MJ as a free throw finesser, or LeBron as a contact connoisseur. How about D-Wade as the original Miami merchant? Or, I don't know, we can maybe just admit what's actually happening. SGA is just unguardable, and some folks are just mad he's not doing it with a loud shoe deal or a reality show. I don't know. Same moves, new era, stop crying, play defense.
That was ESPN analyst and Duke legend Jay Williams adamantly defending the current MVP of the NBA, SGA, against claims of being a free throw merchant. Jay Williams mentioned the likes of Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Allen Iverson, even Larry Bird, and continues by saying that that's what legends do. They find ways to get to the free throw line. So why is that a knock on SGA? So the question that I must ask myself is SGA a free throw merchant? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And a free throw merchant is someone that, in my opinion, manipulates the game, meaning the rules, to get themselves to the free throw line. However, all NBA stars are free throw merchants. LeBron, he didn't used to be, but now he is. Every time Luka gets touched, he's looking at the ref, he's flopping around. Even Joker does it to some degree. Unfortunately, the flopping, the screaming and yelling every time you go to the basket like someone just shot you or something like that. The constant complaining to the refs, that's today's NBA. That's what's been allowed. They all try to manipulate the game to get foul calls. Now, I believe the players of, MJ, Kobe, early years of LeBron, Allen Iverson, Larry Bird, I think they were going about the game and trying to get to the free throw line more organically. I think today what you see is a lot of flopping, a lot of player manipulating the rules to get to the free throw line. Essentially, they're just foul baiting, doing whatever they can to trick the referees. And in my opinion, this all started with James Harden. Admittedly, I did not like James Harden's game. I still really don't. But he, in my opinion, was the first free throw merchant. The first guy that would manipulate rules to get himself to the free throw line. When James Harden won his league MVP, he got to the line like 750 times. The next person in line, because he was first, the second person, he was like 100 plus ahead of them. 100 plus ahead of them. And the way he would play and the way fouls would be called, it made the game feel unethical. This isn't basketball. Like, defenders wasn't allowed to touch him or anything. Like, it's just, if you did, it was going to be a foul call. You can bet your bottom dollar it was going to be a foul call. Now, over time, I began to understand that maybe this might be a skill. Because when you think about it, the ability to get defenders in certain positions to where it looks like they're fouling you and the ref actually calls it, you got to practice it, right? You can't just be out there just willy-nilly with it. It's something that you work on during the off season. While fans like myself do not like that form of basketball, I can't blame the players for doing it if the referees are going to call it. It gives them a clear advantage. I'm not going to get mad at the likes of James Harden or SGA for using the rules to their advantage. I mean, when you really think about it, getting to the free throw line has a lot of benefits. It can help a struggling player get going offensively. It can help slow the pace of the game if it's kind of going kind of fast and the game's getting kind of out of control. But it can also help to stop scoring runs. Free throws are a part of the game. So the more I can get there, why not take advantage of that? Why is that a bad thing? And again, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I also got to understand and respect the fact that you've perfected this skill that helps you get an advantage. Even the younger generation players are doing it, like the likes of Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic. I guess what I'm trying to say is James Harden changed the game. Like he changed the game. Now, if that was for better or for worse, I'll let you decide that. But there will be no change in foul baiting until the real culprits are held accountable. And that's the referees. Refs, stop bailing them out. Stop allowing them to trick you into giving them foul calls. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was reffing the game with James Harden or SGA, I wouldn't give them any fouls. I would think that every time they flop, fail, or did anything that looked like someone is really fouling them, I wouldn't call it. I would think they're trying to trick me. I wouldn't give them no calls. Now, granted, I get fired too because there's both of those guys are, stars, and SGA is a superstar. So I wouldn't last long in the NBA. But look, I just want the game to be ethical in the way that, especially James Harden, SGA is on his way to being another version of James Harden, but the way they play, it can appear unethical at times. And I think that's the thing that gets fans riled up, because it looks like you really can't hoop. You're just manipulating the game.
What is the line between things that we should talk about in the W that are additive to the game and that line that completely takes the focus away from what is happening on the court?
Sadly, in women's sports, for a lot of reasons, once it does cross over, it's gone. We can't even get it back. And it's hard to articulate. It's almost like you know it when you see it. I think a big part of it is people not understanding that our league, the WNBA, is physical and it's competitive the same way you've watched men's sports be physical and competitive for all these years. This is not new. Mm-hmm. All the little, fights or all the little moments where people do the stare down. This has been in our league from the jump. This has been in sports from the jump. It's the same for women, and it doesn't have some deeper meaning to it.
That was Taylor Rooks of the Bleacher Report and Sue Bird talking about the physicality and the competitiveness in the WNBA. All of this stems from an incident that happened between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever. Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky, and Caitlin Clark plays for the Indiana Fever. What happened was, essentially, Angel Reese has an open layup. She's a poor free throw shooter. Caitlin Clark fouls her to send her to the line. Angel Reese admits that she overreacted to the foul. I also think the referees overreacted to the foul, and they upgraded the foul to a flagrant 1. Now, in my opinion, it was a normal common foul, and Angel Reese flops, which makes it look worse than what it actually was. Following that incident, there were a lot of opinions out there about the two players. Robert Griffin III, or RG3, and Ryan Clark got into a bit of a back and forth with each other because RG3 states that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. He believes that she hates Caitlin Clark because he knows what hate looks like. Now that's odd to say, but that's what he said. Ryan Clark responds to that by saying that it's hard for him to say that because he doesn't know what Angel Reese is thinking, and he doesn't know the plight of black women because he's not married to a black woman, so they don't have those kind of conversations. Which, the race undertone was already there, but those two kind of, exposed it for everybody else to see it. Which, begs the question, does Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark? And in my opinion, no. I don't think she hates her. I do believe she's jealous of her, though. And as a competitor, that's okay. I think it's perfectly okay to be jealous or envious of a player that everyone is saying is better than you. To the point where when you play that player, you want to show that player and the media that you're the better player. Honestly, I think that's healthy competition. That I'm going to go out here and I'm going to give you buckets and let everybody know, including you, that I'm better. That jealousy or that envy, that's towards her. And it's not just Angel Reese. It's her. It's veterans in that league. I think they all kind of feel that way about her. But I believe they are upset with the media because, in their opinion, there have been players to come into the league that have been just as good or better than Caitlin Clark. Maya Moore comes to mind. And they didn't get this type of attention, hype. So they're probably asking themselves, well, what's the difference? And the only thing they can see is skin color. Whether that's fair or foul, it's a valid question. Now, the media is doing all they can to make Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese a rivalry. But I'm here to tell you, it's no rivalry. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are on two different levels. I'm not saying Angel Reese is a bad player, but what I am saying is she's no Caitlin Clark. Caitlin is a 3-level scorer that ranks 3rd all time in triple doubles in the WNBA history. She's in year 2. She's currently averaging 19 points and 9 assists per game. Clearly, she's on a superstar path. Angel Reese, on the other hand, is averaging 10 points and 14 rebounds. She's on more of a star path. Even though these two players are on different levels talent-wise, I understand why the media hypes this rivalry. And unfortunately, it is due to a little bit of race baiting. Let's be honest. Race can make people uncomfortable, but it also gets people going. It's such a hot button topic, but oddly, I think it's good for the WNBA. Think about the NBA and when it really took off. It was during the Bird and Magic era, and that was mainly due to Bird being a very talented white player. The media leaned into that, and that brought more attention to the league. I think a similar outcome can happen to the WNBA with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Now, I don't agree with the approach, but it does have the potential to bring more attention to the league, and that attention can lead to better TV deals, which could mean higher salaries for the players. I mean, currently WNBA players they ain't getting paid much. So if they can find a way to get more eyeballs on the screen to drive up demand, then they can get the wages that they feel they deserve. So Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's entertaining. More importantly, it's competitiveness, fire, and passion. If you guys are enjoying the show, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. Also, follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter at The Third Down Conversation. All right, let's jump back into the show. To close out the show, we're going to talk a little college football playoff. Recently, the committee agreed to a straight seeding model, which simply means how you are ranked by the committee, that's your seeding. So if you're ranked 12th by them, you're number 12. If you're ranked, 4, you're number 4. In the previous model, the 4 conference championship winners that were ranked the highest would get the bye. So that means last year, Arizona State won the Big 12. They got a bye. Boise State won their conference. They got a bye. And they got byes over the likes of Ohio State, Penn State, Tennessee, teams like that. When we all know that Arizona State is not better than Penn State or Ohio State, and Boise wasn't better than half the teams. So they changed it to a straight model, which I like. I think that's good. I think that's how it should be, and reward teams for what they accomplished during the regular season. Now, another portion of this college football playoff I want to hit on is the potential of it going to a 16-team model. They're calling it a 5+11 model, meaning your 5 conference champions will get in. That is your SEC, your Big 10, your ACC, your Big 12, and your group of 5 that is the highest ranked. Those 5 will get automatic bids, and then you'll have 11 at-large bids. Honestly, that sounds like a good model. That sounds like something that could really make the playoff more exciting. But there's a bit of a problem. The SEC and the Big 10 are very concerned that if they decide to change from an 8-conference game schedule to a 9-conference game schedule, that they will be penalized for having, 2 to 3 losses, which is why they want to stay at a 8-conference game schedule. This all stems from the playoff committee not having a clear criteria of what gets you in and what does not. One of the things that is a little foggy is strength of schedule. The SEC and the Big 10 are 2 of the most talented and powerful conferences in college football. Naturally, they want some assurances, and their biggest assurance they want is if they go to 9 games, meaning conference games, they want assurance that at least 4 teams from their conference will get in. The inability to come to an agreement has kind of put things at a standstill. Greg Sankey, and he is the SEC conference commissioner, he surprisingly said that it should be more of a, as far as how they determine, strength of schedule, we should use elements of the BCS and, the human eye test portion of it as well, which, sounds crazy because it's like, well, we had the BCS and we went away from the BCS. But when you really think about it and you really just kind of break down the whole situation, it's not a terrible idea. Your eyes are telling you this, but do the metrics back up what your eyes are telling you? Personally, I think it's smart. When it comes to using or trying to determine a criteria, trying to determine strength of schedule, why not use all the resources that are available to you? The purpose of the playoff is to select the best teams to determine a true national champion. If that's the case, then why are we limiting ourselves? I'm not saying use every single thing out there. Like, come up with a criteria, stick to that criteria. Personally, I would love for the SEC to go to 9 games, but I understand the trepidation as well when the conference is considerably tougher than, say, the ACC or the Big 12. Being penalized is a real thing. So will the Power 4 leagues be able to put their differences aside and come to a uniform decision? Probably not. Probably not. Like, it's the NCAA. They have a hard time working with each other. Each conference is essentially out for themselves, but the SEC and the Big Ten are the big dogs. They are the ones that have the most control. So I guess the real question is, can the SEC and the Big Ten get on the same side? I guess we'll find out sooner or later. This has been the Third Down Conversation. Jesus loves you, and I'm out. Peace.